It's Smash Summit, Beyond the Summit's first Smash event, and in their brand new beautiful house. And I'm here, stole a few minutes with the man himself, Scar. Say what's up, Scar.
What's up with it?
He's been talking and dropping insight all day, and now he's going to answer some of my questions. And I prepared a bunch of fluff questions for him, but I'm actually going to ask him some intelligent questions, see if his brain's still working.
Yes. Let's assume it does.
Yeah, we'll find out. But first, let's just identify who you are, right? Because you're one of the very few people who have had both a professional or semi-professional career. Semi's fine. Semi-professional career as a player and as personality. How do those two compare, and how do you identify yourself?
That's a very interesting question. Wait. So, okay, but you have the same experience, right?
I do.
What does it mean to you when you ask the question, how do you identify yourself? Like, is it primarily as a competitor or as a comic? Like, is that...
Fair. Let me rephrase it. You're right. So you fired it back on me. I realize what a tricky question it is. Right.
Answer the question that you asked.
Yeah.
The question that's most interesting to you.
Okay. So what's most I did it partly as like a tell the people who you are thing, but if I'm being honest, what's most interesting to me is where have you found more fulfillment?
Okay, that's a great question. So I think like in the end, when I think about my career, and we played a bunch of Smash together, and you remember like I would play during the school year during school. Like so as a player, basically what I did was I neglected all of my responsibilities and just invested all my time into Melee. And like, now that I have a job and like, other like I have I'm married and stuff like that, it's like I can't do that anymore. It's just a fact. So if I have tried to play, and it's very unfulfilling because I just don't feel like I can compete. I wonder if it's like lazy for me to think, everybody else has more time to invest, but I actually don't think that that's like a cop-out. It's like, how much effort am I willing to put into it? How much do I want it? And it's clearly less than the players who are like playing all the time. Now that they're streaming and that they can, it just feels like players can literally practice for hours per day. And that is their career. Like I've chosen a different path. So I should work harder as a commentator for sure. But I don't know, people seem to enjoy my work. I don't like calling it my work because I don't feel like it's work. I'm just kicking it. But yeah, I'm Scar. I played Captain Falcon for a long time. I'm a Marth main now.
So I saw.
Scarth. He was born yesterday. Born in earnest.
You realize that you didn't really answer the question, though. You talked a lot.
Who I am?
Well, where did you find more fulfillment? You just said that you can't play anymore, but
Yes.
your time as a player versus your time as a personality and a figurehead, where have you found more of an identity? Where you found your stride?
Yes. So I found lots of fulfillment as a player in that I think that it helped me develop as a person very, very much. I think like accepting where you are is really important, and like learning that, in a competitive game, if you lose, it's not... I feel like in sports as a kid, right? If you lose, it's like not a big deal. It's like whatever, you can blame other things. Oh, everybody's a winner. In Melee, if you lose, you lose. You weren't good enough. And I feel like confronting I want to play this game and I want to be the best, and I'm currently not. And here's what I can learn to get better. That's something that I feel like most people in society are like shielded from, right? I feel like most people never have to confront that they're not good enough at a particular thing, like or in a particular context. I think everybody is good enough as a person, as a human being. But as a player, I clearly wasn't good enough, and I like worked really hard at it. And the lessons that I learned to actually get good were very valuable, and they informed a lot of like the rest of my life. For one thing, like I think about this at work a lot. It's like, do I want to be the best, project manager or product manager at the office? Isn't that the same as being like the best smasher on your block? What does that really matter? How does that really matter? Like, there's a million best smashers on the block. Like, if I really put my time into it in Melee, and I feel like if I really put my time into it in work, then I could be like known in a community. You know what I mean? Like, I could be really good in a broader context. So I think thinking at that level is something that I'm very proud of, that I can do that, and it's because of Smash. So I found a lot of fulfillment as a player. I think as a personality, like, I don't know, there are things that I care about for the community, and as a player, I don't feel like I ever really influenced the community in a very positive way, and I think that like I have been able to do that with Melee and Omni and stuff like that. So I think at this point, I feel better about my time as a figurehead or whatever than I ever did as a player.
Thanks. Let's talk big picture Smash stuff, okay? Let's say I forced you to pick just one thing. I'm going to ask you, what is the greatest challenge facing the progression of competitive Melee? Not necessarily what's wrong, but where should we devote our resources to make sure that we continue to grow properly?
Right. So, of course, like continue to like the place to start there, I think, is what do we define as like continue to grow properly? And I think that's what you're asking me. Like, what is the growth that like we want? I think in the past, like everybody was kind of fixated on like let's get on TV, but I don't think that TV is like I don't think TV is as relevant as it used to be. Like streaming is so much better.
Circumnavigate that. No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. Like so okay, if we don't care about like getting on TV, then like is growth just more people watching? And I feel like so I talked about this with Tafkins like last night, and we just kind of talked about like who is the Smash community? Really weird question. I don't know the answer. Like most of the time, I think my default answer is anybody who comes to a tournament, but I think everybody who contributes and like regularly checks in at our Smash Bros is like part of the community. And I think probably to a lesser extent, but like it still exists. Like people who are watching our big tournaments are kind of part of the community, but like this group, like the wider the lens gets, it's like the less I can really identify like what is the Melee community about. And so for me, like the way that I would want to grow is like I really want Melee to be very inclusive. I think like we do a really good job in most areas. I don't think that like we're particularly welcoming to like women, and I think that's like hard for probably all sports anyway, right? I probably sports more generally, but I know esports hasn't got it yet. I don't know if that's like so we've got that, and then international growth, right? International is starting to grow, but like I think that it does suck to not be in the U.S. because big tournaments for you locally are not going to be anything like big tournaments here. Finally, DreamHack is happening like that, and like there are some tournaments in Europe that people will actually go to, but yeah, I think international growth would be sick too. So it is a good question, and I'm not sure that I'm doing anything to like push it in any particular direction. I would love to be more inclusive. So what's the one thing? What's the one thing that I would want to do? So I talked about this with Tafkins. I think it would be really cool to like talk to the main influencers. So I think right now it's the streamers. So like the top players who also stream. I think it would be really cool if like they made sure that at least their chats or their sphere of influence was like a safe space for anyone to come in and like want to enjoy Smash. Because like really that's what this is all about, in my opinion. Is like Melee is an amazing game, and like everybody should be able to participate in that. Did that answer the question?
Maybe. I think the answer's in there somewhere. We'll find the answer in post. That's quite all right. I think that ambassadors are extremely important to your point of the whole community thing. And we've gone leaps and bounds to be more inclusive, but we're still figuring it out, man. Where are... Yeah, everyone is. If you could go back in time to any point in Melee history and change the outcome of a set, what set would you change the outcome of? Oh, he's got it.
Dark Reign versus PC Chris. Not because it would be like a gigantic change in like what happens to the game, but Dark Reign versus PC Chris at some random MLG where Dark Reign clearly threw PC Chris off the level, jumped and back aired, and I saw the craziest phantom hit that I've ever seen in my entire life. And PC got back on the stage and forward smashed him and he died. 2-stock swing for no reason. Dark Reign lost the set. Only because it's justice.
Yeah.
That was the one time that Melee, I feel like, let us all down. It made a very questionable choice.
Although, of course, you know that our kids will stop seeing phantom hits as injustice. They'd be like, well, they shouldn't have misspaced it. Duh. Yes. Come on, Dad.
Yes. But even watching the tape, it doesn't look like a phantom hit. Oh, wow. How did it phantom? His fist was in Falco's brain.
I can't tell you that. I don't understand phantom hits to this day. It's been explained to me over and over again. Like it's two spheres, and I listen, and there's just like monkeys dancing in my brain. I don't get it. I can't. What house would the Sorting Hat put you in?
Okay, so I used to think it was Slytherin, and maybe I was right. I never thought Gryffindor. I sort of wanted to be Ravenclaw at some point, so the truth is I would be sorted into Hufflepuff for sure. I think I've definitely changed a lot as a person, and like the things that I care about most, I think, are like treating everybody well and like recognizing when we're all on the same team. And I think especially in Melee, like, I don't know, I'm actually trying to get a lot better at not necessarily dealing with criticism, but dealing with people who are like, I think trying to give criticism, but just being huge assholes. And I think I think that if I can learn to be better about saying like, okay, I actually value your feedback, so if you could not say it the way that you just did, maybe I'll understand your point. Someone very recently on Twitter like had a criticism about something that I said and basically said like, okay, that's fine. You probably forget what you said because you're delusional. And like, okay, cool. That's not helpful. Like, what did I actually say that you had a problem with? So anyway, I think Hufflepuff's all about everybody being happy, and that's where I would be. Unfortunately, maybe, I don't know. I'm proud of it now, but 3 years ago, Scar would be very upset.
True. You have to prep for Scar and Toph show. I know. So we're going to bring this to a close. But before we do, we're going to play a game, a speed run.
Yes.
Okay? Speed run. I'm going to fire some questions for you. And you just go from the gut, okay? All right? Scar. Smash Summit. Speed run. 1. Appies or Zerts?
Zerts.
Mountains or ocean?
Mountains.
GG's or Pop-Off?
Pop-Off.
Frozen or Tangled?
Frozen.
What year was Melee released?
99?
Who was your first main?
Ganon.
Who is the best smasher of all time?
Mango.
Who's going to win this weekend?
Armada.
Okay. Scarf Smash Summit. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your
Armada.
time.